And Tim, we saw some storms out there tonight, too.
Yeah, that's right. And here in the Weather Center with Liz Dorland from the American Red Cross talking about volunteers. In the meantime, let's get right to the radar and get you up to date with everything that's going on here. No severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Latest one's just expired, but we still have some strong thunderstorms pushing through Butler County, also Polk back down to Hamilton counties. That's moving off to the northeast. We'll take a look at the street level mapping here. You can see closer to your neighborhood with this activity pushing up between Ulysses and Columbus, also through Stromsburg and just clearing out of Aurora. Large hail damaging winds have been the main threats, along with lightning and damaging winds. Around the area right now, we're seeing mostly in the 70s, upper 70s in Grand Island, mid 70s in Kearney and Hastings. 80 still off to the east as we look at that state fair forecast for tomorrow. You can see mid 70s in the morning. We'll keep a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day. 2 o'clock will be close to 90 degrees, so another warm, humid day. And then by the evening, we'll be back to the mid 60s, but we will have a chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms, talking about that. Also with large hail damaging winds. And of course, just fitting that you're here in the Weather Center with me, but we're not really talking about the disasters and the things the Red Cross does with severe weather. Of course, we could talk about that until we're blue in the face, but what we are talking about is kind of recapping this summer's severe weather and the people that played a vital role in helping the community and assisting others, and that's the volunteers of the Red Cross.
Absolutely. That is our disaster response team. And so they are a group of teams that go out and they answer that call for help immediately following whatever that disaster might be, whether it's a home fire or the larger disasters like we saw here in Pilger or in Beaver Crossing, Sutton. And as I said, they answer the call for a home fire. So they're always responding to, but we're also preparing our community, these disaster volunteers, for potential disaster as well.
Okay. And Liz, one of the things is I try to lead by example, and I'm trying to help with this push to try to get more volunteers. So I signed up, not because you told me you were going to beat me up if I didn't. But
that's not true, for the record. That is not true.
No, seriously, I wanted to do something to help the community, and weather and the American Red Cross kind of go hand in hand. So after we get done covering severe weather, I can go help the community. So we'll talk about how that's going to impact me as I do this and how other people can get involved and become volunteers. And that's coming up in Maine Weather in just about 7-8 minutes. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Wherever I go, I seem to be making friends, and on either side of my weather wall here, I've got a couple gals that aren't too happy with me because I keep challenging them to do more things. In the meantime, we got one strong thunderstorm, no severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Butler County down to Seward, back over to York County, Polk County. Strong thunderstorms, maybe some small hail and gusty winds out of this. They've been kind of dissipating as the sun has gone down. You can see this pushing off to the northeast here, moving through, just clipping Columbus, Schuyler, and pushing just to the northwest of Fremont, and also here moving just along Highway 30 south of Central City. Down to the south, another strong cluster from Concordia back down to Hunter and just to the south of Cocker City. That's moving off to the northeast. No severe weather out of that either. As we look at our current temperatures right now, a whole plethora of 70s here, all the way from the Panhandle back along Interstate 80, and still a couple of 80s back in the southeastern part of the state. No rain, cooled air there. Will cool down when that rain gets there. As we're looking towards tomorrow, the threat of severe weather, Storm Prediction Center having a slight risk for severe weather. Main threats being large hail damaging winds, maybe an isolated tornado. A lot of this depends on where this boundary sets up shop tomorrow, right along Interstate 80. North of there, large hail damaging winds. We're along that boundary. We could get an isolated tornado. Timing, I think, to the west and northwest of the Tri-Cities about 4 o'clock, pushing into our area by early evening. Not a good idea, not a great thing here with the first day of the state fair. As we look at mid-70s by the morning, warming up to close to 90 by 2 o'clock, and then we'll see those temperatures dipping down just a tad back to the mid-80s by 7 o'clock, and of course we'll get those thunderstorms going by then. So here's how temperatures look around the area here, starting up to the north as we normally do. Albion to Ainsworth, back to Ord and Broken Bow. We'll see those upper 80s to low 90s, a little breezy up there. Plenty of sunshine throughout the day down to the southwest. Imperial back to Beaver City, Lexington, and McCook, all in those low 90s. And we'll see the same temperatures here in the Tri-Cities with readings close to 100 once again in northern Kansas, and here back to the eastern part of the viewing area, Lincoln 95, a little warmer in Beatrice, and Hebron back at 96. 7-day forecast, not a lot of changes here in terms of temperatures until we get some rain-cooled air coming in courtesy of a front, and that'll knock us back to the 70s and then 80s by the end of the forecast period. You can see here that we'll have chances for showers and thunderstorms off and on, really the whole forecast period as well. But, well, kind of the focus of that's going to kind of go day by day, given where some of those frontal boundaries reside. And Liz, looks like we're going to have about a severe weather. Not a good thing, but of course you're in the house, so why not, right?
Why not?
Why not? So, let's turn our attention to what we talked about after Maine weather, that I'm now a volunteer at the Red Cross. And
welcome, by the way, to the Red
well,
Cross.
thank you, and I'm excited about that. And I was just kidding about you beating me up. I would have done it regardless. So let's talk about maybe somebody sitting at home and might want to get involved. And a lot of people, when there's a disaster, the tornadoes hit, or maybe there's a neighborhood fire, or some kind of disaster or tragedy happens, people just inherently want to get involved. They want to help their community. And of course, that's great with Nebraska. How can people get involved, and what kinds of things could they be doing?
They could do a variety of things. Getting involved with the Red Cross, there's 5 lines of service. Of course, what we've been really talking about a lot this year is our disaster response team. And they're the ones that answer the call of the home fire overnight, the Pilger tornado, the Beaver Crossing, Sutton tornado, whatever that might be. And so what we're encouraging people to do is, if you've ever had that desire to say,
right there.
I want to get involved. I want to help out, whether it's providing a hug, emotional comfort, whether it's handing out a meal to somebody, if it's doing one of our additional items that takes a lot of training, which we offer for free. We want you to log on to our website, redcross.org/NEIA.
And you can see it there, right there on the graphic on the second line there. All these graphics have that website.
And you can register to become a volunteer with one click. And we have a one-day boot camp so that people who want to get involved with our disaster services can come on a Saturday. It's Saturday, September 13th. Begins at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to give you lunch. We want you to come, listen to more about the Red Cross. We want you to get involved with our community and with the Red Cross.
That's why I'm coming, because you're having lunch.
Because of the lunch.
I knew there was some with that.
There's always the case.
Okay, so you use a lot of corporate terms, so to speak, and sometimes your talking points I give you. But that's part of your job and what you do. But let's cut through all that. I mean, what do you think the most people will get out of it? I mean, at the end of the day, it's really people helping people, right?
At the end of the day, it's really making our community a lot more resilient. It is being ready to help your neighbor if they should have a fire. It's being willing to step up to the plate when that time and when that disaster happens here at home, because unfortunately it
And real quick, we'll be out there Saturday. My first part of being a volunteer at the American Red Cross
Scrubby
is
Bear.
wearing Scrubby Bear. It's for the kids, and that's to teach kids how to properly wash their hands. Why I'm doing it.
Or adults.
Or adults, that's
Everybody.
true. And even weather guys. But, it'll be fun, and I'll be out there all day. And I'm not actually going to be wearing a hat as the News 5 weather guy. I'm actually going to be a volunteer, just like everybody else. And we encourage anybody to stop out to the Red Cross booth, which is where?
We are going to be located near the 4-H tent. We're in the Family Fun Activities tent.
Okay.
Can't miss us. We've got our big emergency response vehicle.
Look for Scrubby Bear.
And we're all going to be wearing Red Cross shirts.
Inside that lovable bear costume is me. Katie?
I can't wait to see.
Hi, welcome back, and here's no severe thunderstorm warnings right now in the 10 o'clock hour. We do have one strong thunderstorm pushing through Colfax and Butler County. It's moving off to the northeast. Out of the viewing area, down to the south, just some strong cluster of thunderstorms. There's the state view right there, and of course behind all those storms, things are clearing off. That's a good thing, but tomorrow another chance of severe weather possible as we're looking at 70s in the morning and almost 90 by early afternoon, and then we'll be in the mid-80s by the early part of the evening. Large hail, damaging winds possible late afternoon tomorrow evening. Slight risk by the Storm Prediction Center and yours truly. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Wouldn't it figure when we're going out to the fair tomorrow?
I know. I hope it holds off at least for a little while.
It's Liz's fault.
All right. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. State Fair begins. We'll be live. Have a good night.